Hey gang, welcome back to Let's Level Up. My name is Rick, and today we're going to be talking about Uglydoll Loonacy. Now, Loonacy is a game, it reminds me of a game that I used to play in school all the time with my friends called Speed, and that was played with a 52 card deck. Basically, both players are playing at the exact same time to see who can exhaust their deck or their hand faster than the other player. Loonacy is the same concept, but it's going to scale up to 4 players. On each card, there are 2 of these ugly dolls here that we're going to be able to successfully play on a discarded card that has one of those 2 symbols on it. The first player to play all of the cards in their hand is going to be declared the victor. I think this game is very maniacal, as the title suggests, and let's take it to the table, show you a little bit of how it's played and how things are going to be set up, and then after that, we'll come back here to the game room and give you our final thoughts. Here we have an example of a 2-player setup in Uglydoll Loonacy. Basically what this game is going to be is we're going to have 7 cards in our hand, and each of these cards has 2 of the ugly dolls on them. Our objective is to be the first player to get rid of all the cards in their hand. So essentially what we're going to try to do is match symbols that, on our cards with cards that are in one of the 4 discard piles. Now, in a 3-player game, there'll only be 3 discard piles, and in a 4-player game, there'll only be 2 discard piles, making it a little bit more maniacal as the player count kind of ramps up from there. So basically, what we're going to be trying to do is chain different combos that we have together and looking for different patterns. So, for instance, if I were to play this little guy here onto that stack, I could then also play this guy here onto that stack. I'm going to play 1 card at a time until I don't have any cards left to play. And remember, all players are playing at the exact same time. So if there ever comes down, and let me just see if I can exhaust this really quick. Am I out there? Yeah, I think so. I think I can't have any more plays here. So when that happens, what I'll do is I'll point to the discard pile, letting all the players know that I can't play anymore. Now, this is kind of an honor system thing. I can't wait for somebody else to be out and then start playing everything. But if somebody plays a card that then allows me to play one of my cards, then that is a legal play. But all players, once they're pointing at this stack, they're going to stop and they're going to draw 1 card. Hopefully, this will allow the play to continue and us to be able to chain the rest of these on here. Now, when Regan and I played, we had several of these back and forth, where we had several turns in a row where we couldn't do anything. And it turned out to be a little bit longer of the game. We actually exhausted all of the main draw pile. And when that happens, you can either take the top card of the discard piles and set them aside and then shuffle everything else together, or take everything, shuffle them all together, and draw 4 new cards to play on top of. Either way is fine. I think it's up to your group preference, and both are stated as applicable in the rules for Loonacy here. Really, this is going to be a really fast, intense game, and I think the more players you have playing it, this game is going to be really good at that 4-player mark. It reminds me a lot of like a multiplayer version of Speed, if you've ever played that on just your standard 52 card decks. When we look at these actual cards here, there's some really neat monsters or ugly dolls here that my daughter actually really, really loves. And anytime you get a game like this, I think it's going to increase your hand-eye coordination. It's going to increase your good for memory skills. And it's one of those games that I think is a good little brain teaser for you. And it's very light. You can play it very quickly. And I think it's under 10 minutes per game. And it's really, really good. So definitely check out Uglydoll Loonacy. Follow us back to the game table for our final thoughts. Well, that is it for Uglydoll Loonacy. As you can see, this game is really, really good. It plays 2 to 5 players, ages 8 and up, and it takes about 15 to 10 minutes. Really, really solid game here. I think this is one of these great games that you can play as a great filler. A great game you could bring out in classrooms to help teach kids both hand-eye coordination, memory skills, and is a great brain exerciser. And if you've been following any of the stuff on Alzheimer's and things like that, the more you use your brain throughout your life, the better off you're going to be, I think, at the end of the day. This is another great game. Again, anybody can play this. You can pop this game out literally anywhere and have a fun time doing it. It is extremely fast-paced. It's extremely nerve-wracking at the end of the day. And you're constantly having to watch all the discard piles to see when
you're going to get your chance to play before somebody else plays on top of you and blocks you out. So again, Loonacy is a tremendous game I think you should check out. And again, I say tremendous game. There's one thing we're doing in this game. We're trying to match our card faster than the other ones. And I think that's okay at the end of the day. Very, very fast-paced, very fun, and very engaging, I think. And there's a lot of room to, if you're anything like my son and I, talk a little smack to each other while you do it. He is a blast to play this one with. So if you ever see him at a convention in the future, definitely let him know you're a fan of Loonacy, and he will play you anywhere, anytime. So that being said, thank you guys so much for watching this. Check out Loonacy. Get it on your shelf. Go to your friendly local game store and get a copy of Loonacy today because it's cheap and it's fun and it's a really, really good time. Such a small little box. Until next time, guys, thank you again. Give us a thumbs up on the channel, rather, if you like this. Subscribe if you haven't already. You can hit us up on Twitter and Facebook and all of those sites by going to letslevelup.net and looking at the right side of the page. And really, tell your friends, because that's how we get bigger, is by word of mouth, really, at the end of the day. So anytime you do that, I sincerely appreciate it. I know Bevan does as well. And from both of us, we'd like to say thank you again. And until next time, game on.